What are some of the burgeoning markets? Where are some good places to pick
invest?
up? Yeah, because you're out here and there's nothing
Absolutely
in the neighborhood under 1.5 million that you can even think about.
Definitely.
And it is really, without exaggeration, back to the school teachers making $59,000 a year, and her husband works for Home Depot and he makes $74,000 a year. And you're looking at places you wouldn't have your worst enemy spend the night in some of these places that are $1 million.
Correct.
And so now it's going to take $1.8 million for you to get into something semi-decent, not even luxurious or anything.
Of that, so.
And you need 20% of $2 million, so you got $400,000 laying around. I don't know who does that. You work at Home Depot. You're a school teacher.
Right.
How are you going to pull this off
right.
in Glendale, Burbank,
right.
Pasadena? But maybe there's places in Prim, Nevada where it would work.
So here's the thing, Adam. I've broken this down to a science. And so a part of my REI 90 program, where we help people to set up these SPVs, we eliminate all of the guesswork. We even tell you what markets to go into. And so what I've done is I've calculated that if you can find properties that are about 150,000 and below, they will always cash flow. Mm-hmm. That actually rhymes.
Yeah.
So 150,000 and below, they'll always cash flow. Well, where do they have those properties? So I've been pointing out the Midwest. I actually pulled a report and pulled 20 cities, not states, but 20 cities inside the Midwest. And there's over 5,500 properties that are for sale that are $100,000 and below. And
wow.
I didn't even do all of the major cities. So I'm looking in places like Detroit, where it's 1,100 properties under $100,000. I'm looking in places like St. Louis, where it's 531. I'm looking in places like Columbus, South Carolina. So there's places all across the U.S. And I show people how to not only go and look for these properties, but also how to source them. But then, because I'm helping them structure it like a business, we're also giving them all of the resources that they need. So understanding that you literally could still be running your business out here in Southern California, and we're helping you to build a real estate portfolio in a city like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because we've helped you to establish a team. You have a real estate team, so you got your property managers. They have access to contractors. We have your home inspectors. We have the bank lenders. So we literally are essentially almost creating you a franchise within the real estate, and the SPV is going to own your real estate franchise.
I heard there's deals out there for like first-time home buyers with reasonable rates and help with the down, and it's got to be under, I don't know, $750,000 or some version of that. Too old for that. But they're out there. Are there things you can utilize that the government basically provides and says, look, if you're a first-time buyer and we want to incentivize you to go out here and do this, so we're going to make some attractive deals for you.
The first-time home buyer is really a marketing campaign. And so essentially how that works, because again, I'm speaking to the business owner. I'm speaking to this from a business standpoint. Now, can you use the quote-unquote first-time home buyer strategy? Yes, there's something called house hacking, where you can go and get into a property, put down 3.5%. But here's the thing, Adam, I would never do that as an investor for a single family home, because again, we're utilizing the real estate to be purchased through the SPV to make you money. If you're utilizing your first-time home buyers down strategy to get into a property and it's not making you no money, you've kind of, it's a contradiction of what the strategy is for. The only way I would recommend that is if it's a multifamily. So now you can go and get a home putting down 3.5% down, and you can rent out 1 to 3 of the units, depending if it's a 2-family, 3 or 4, because it will qualify under the FHA guidelines, and you can live in 1 unit and rent the other 3 out. But the strategy that I'm really focusing on is, so we're going to set up your SPV. We're going to go and make sure that your business is bank compliant. And then we're going to go to the bank and get you lines of credit, because the loophole in the banking system that a lot of people may or may not know, I can set you up a brand new SPV entity right now today, Adam, And without having to show much, because the bank is going to lend on projected and household income and household revenue, I can take you to several banks here in North America or here just in Southern California and do a process called credit stacking, where essentially we're just going to leverage debt to get into that property. And so now a person may say, well, why would I use debt to get into the property? Well, because that's how most successful real estate investors do. They leverage debt. It's no different than a hedge fund or a money manager. Instead of soliciting and begging my friends, family, and relatives for 10 grand, I'm going to go to the bank and they're going to be my investors, because with the SPV, again, because it's a business entity, banks want to lend to that. And I'm backing it with real estate. So going back to my breakdown of my calculation, I know for every $100,000, I only need $25,000 down. So I know I can get the $25,000 from lines of credit, and I already know. And then as a brand new business, I can get it at a 0% interest for 6 to 18 months, depending on the introductory rate from that bank. Well, the $100,000 is only going to cost me about $680 a month. Let's just call it $700, which is the mortgage at a 9% interest rate under my SPV. The credit card debt on the $25,000 may cost me $300. Well, I put that together, we're at about $900 a month. Well, in most of the properties in middle of America where we're showing people, the average mortgage is $1,500 in North America. So I'm not only covering my debt servicing, but now I'm getting a $200 to $300 net profit every single month. And all I'm going to do is compound that and do that as many times as I can, because it's not costing Will Roundtree any money.